Education Gives Luster to Motherland by Jose Rizal. Wise education, vital breath, inspires an enchanting virtue. She puts the country in the lofty seat of endless glory and dazzling glow. And as the gentle auras puff, do brighten the perfumed flowers hue, so education with a wise guiding hand, a benefactress exalts the human band. Man's placid repose and earthly life, to education he dedicates. Because of her, art and science are born. Man, and as from the high mount above, the pure rivulet flows, undulates. So education beyond measure gives the country tranquility secure. Her wise education raises a throne, sprightly youth are invigorated, who with firm stand error they subdue, and with noble ideas are exalted. It breaks immortality's neck, contemptible crime before it is halted. It humbles barbarous nations, and it makes of savages champions. And like the spring that nourishes the plants, the bushes of the meads, she goes on spilling her placid wilt, and with kind eagerness she constantly feeds the river banks through which she sleeps, and to beautiful nature all she concedes. So whoever procures education wise, until the height of honor may rise. From her lips the water crystalline gush forth without end of divine virtue and imprudent doctrines of her fate. The forces weak of evil subdue, that break apart like whitish waves, that lash upon the motionless shoreline. And to climb the heavenly ways the people do learn with her noble example. In the wretched human being's breast, the living flame of good she lights. The hands of criminal fear she ties, and fill the faithful hearts with delights, which seeks secrets beneficent, and in the love of good her breast she incites. And its education, noble and pure, of the human life the bosom sure. And like a rock that rises with pride in the middle of the turbulent waves, when hurricane and fierce notus roar, she disregards their fury and rave, that weary of the horror great, so frightened comely off they stay. Such is one by wise education steered, he holds the country's reins unconquered, his achievements on sapphires are engraved. The country pays him 1,000 honors, for in the noble breast of her son, virtue transplanted luxuriant flowers, and in the love for good e'er disposed, will see lords and governors. The noble people with loyal venture, Christian education always procure. And like the golden sun of the morn, whose rays resplendent shedding gold, and like fair aurora of golden red, she overspreads her odors bold. Such true education proudly gives the pleasure of virtue to young and old, and she enlightens out motherland dear, as she offers endless glow and luster. Rizal was born in an era where oppression and injustices prevails, where poorest among the poor has no privilege in rights, where education was expensive and limited. Rizal was one of those fortunate people to have his education, yet in spite of having the privilege, he still seeks the light, not for himself, but for his fellow Filipino citizen. He wrote the poem Education Gives Luster to Motherland to express his passion and his belief in the power of education to transform a nation. In his time, if everybody has privilege to acquire education, everyone would be enlightened of their sufferings. Everyone would have the wisdom needed to save themselves and their nation. Education would alleviate the poor situation they have, just as how Rizal uplift others to see the real truth in the situations of the Philippines. The poem implies the importance of education. Providing the youths with the best education possible is essential because it is the foundation of prosperity. Rizal was inspired by his gains. He had true education, and so he envisioned what education can do to a country if its leadership would be made up of a new breed of educated youths. Education is the key for us to see silver linings. Even up to today, we believe in the power of education to transform us. As a Filipino citizen, we build the nations, and so we must anchor ourselves with wisdom so that no one could step us and leave us behind. Education would give our country pride and honor. It is very evident nowadays we were civilized because of the knowledge, the wisdom, and the skills we developed from going through the process of learning. With education, the history or the past of oppressions and injustices would not happen again. We are educated and we will not let it happen again. Instead, we will continue to give pride and honor of our nation. We will be part of the prosperity of our country. Education is the torch that will light our way into the bright direction. This is our hope, and this is the key for us youth to be the hope of our country. And that is my interpretation of the poem written by Rizal. This is me, Perlin C. Clavicilias from BSCS1. Thank you.